At the engagement party, my fiance's father said, "My daughter doesn't marry people from service families." The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor, while my mother's face went completely white. We'd been celebrating for 90 minutes when Richard Ashford tapped his glass and asked for everyone's attention. The string quartet stopped playing. Servers froze mid-pour, and Richard smiled that smile wealthy people wear when they're about to remind everyone of their place. "I want to thank everyone for coming tonight," he began, his voice carrying through the Ashford estate. "But we need to address something that's been bothering Evelyn and me." He looked directly at me. "David seems like a nice enough young man, hard-working from what I understand, but my daughter doesn't marry people from service families." The words hung in the air like smoke. My father Thomas stood near the buffet, a custodian at Riverside Hospital for 32 years. My mother Anne worked as a housekeeper for 3 wealthy families, and I watched her champagne glass slip from her fingers and explode against the floor in a sound that echoed through the sudden silence. Claire pulled her hand from mine and stepped toward her father, her voice shaking. "Dad, what the hell is this?" But Richard held up his hand, not done with his performance. "Let me finish, Claire. Your mother and I hired an investigator to look into David's background." He pulled out his phone. "David's father has worked as a janitor for 3 decades, never advancing, never showing ambition beyond his station. His mother cleans houses for a living, including, ironically, the home of our friends, the Whitneys." He looked up with something resembling pity. "These are not appropriate in-laws for a woman of your standing." The room erupted. Claire's Aunt Patricia said, "Richard, that's enough," but he raised his voice over the noise. "Furthermore, David works as an assistant property manager, making approximately $48,000 annually. Claire's shoe budget exceeded that figure last year." My mother made a sound between a sob and a gasp. My father's grip on her shoulder tightened, but he didn't move, completely blindsided by this public humiliation. "Mr. Ashford," I started, but he cut me off with a dismissive wave. "I have every right. Claire is my daughter." He reached into his jacket and produced an envelope. Inside is a check for $250,000. "It's yours, David, if you end this engagement tonight and walk away." Claire was crying now, mascara running down her face. "You can't be serious. You can't actually be doing this." Richard's expression softened when he looked at his daughter. "Claire, sweetheart, you'll thank me someday. You're infatuated, but this man is not your equal." What Richard didn't know was that I wasn't just an assistant property manager. I owned Fisher Property Group, a company managing 83 buildings across the city worth $340 million combined. I'd kept my position at our original building because I liked staying connected to operations, knowing how things actually worked. Claire knew everything. We'd agreed to keep it quiet from her family because I wanted them to know me as a person first, not as a bank account. That decision now felt like a catastrophic error. My father finally spoke, his voice quiet but carrying through the room. "Mr. Ashford, I've cleaned floors for 32 years, mopped up blood and vomit and things I won't mention in polite company. I've emptied trash and scrubbed toilets and done work people like you don't even see." He was still holding my mother, spine straight, eyes steady on Richard. "My wife has cleaned your friends' homes with pride and dignity. We raised our son to work hard and treat people with respect regardless of their station. You think you're better than us because you were born into money, but you're wrong about everything, including my son." The room went completely silent. "Tell him, son," my father said, looking at me with tired pride. "Tell him what you actually do." Before I could respond, Claire spoke, her voice cutting like a blade. "Dad, shut up and listen. David owns Fisher Property Group. He's worth more than you are. He could buy this house with cash tomorrow." She was shaking now. "He kept his position because he actually cares about good work, not just appearing successful. Do you have any idea how embarrassing this is? You tried to pay off a man who probably made more this year than you did." Richard's face went through several expressions before settling on disbelief. "That's not possible. Our investigator," but Claire cut him off, "found exactly